forgot, but I didn't share the class.
Oh, the
Oh,
website. Oh, well, if you
the
want to
class.
share it now, you
I,
can because we're live.
okay, maybe I should do the class.
Yep. So Ken's gonna go ahead and share that website for everyone so they can come in. Hopefully, welcome to the 4th of July. I'm not very patriotic in the physical sense today. I'm not wearing any red, white, or blue. blue. Actually, I have some white. No, I don't. I'm not wearing any colors from the United States today. Um, but that's okay. So everyone in the United States today has off. No one's working, as I'll explain later. And that's basically it. They're out having barbecues, which I'll also mention later. So today is just about a whole bunch of fun facts about the 4th of July in the United States. So, Ken, first of all, I wanted to ask you, were you in the United States, in Georgia, during the 4th of July?
Actually, I didn't. I went to the Georgia in autumn, so I've never spent this day in America.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I don't know what
Well,
is it.
that does happen. That's okay. That's not a problem. So yeah, so we're gonna learn a lot today. Let me go ahead and share my screen, and all right, 4th of July. So, okay, thanks to Microsoft, we have this beautiful fireworks black and white picture in the middle. So 4th of July. To me, fireworks really, really, really represent the 4th of July. I mean, that's like the biggest thing that we do. It's how we celebrate. And I really don't know why we use fireworks. Maybe it represents war for the independence. I really don't know. Or is a celebration? I really don't know. So that might be a question I might have to look up during class. But in general, welcome to 4th of July. So, Ken, do you have any comments or anything?
4th of July, and yeah, I know firework is famous, and many places in America, people enjoy fireworks, also barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
And I think barbecue is one of American culture, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it is here too in Spain, actually, in the summer. You know, you go to someone's house or something like that. And yeah, eat a lot of food. The difference between barbecues in Spain and the United States is that Spain you have like only meat. There's no vegetables, there's no fruit, there's no dessert, there's nothing. It's
Oh my
all
God,
just meat.
really? People don't
Yeah.
eat fruit and vegetables?
At
Uh,
one of these, no, they have like potato chips and that's about it.
that's
So,
like healthy to me.
yeah, I actually we went to one this past weekend because one of our friends who actually is basically like me but opposite. He's actually living in the United States. He's flying back today.
Mhm.
Um and he was like I said he's leaving today, so we went to go say goodbye to him and we had this party this past weekend on Saturday and we had some beer, some meat and that was it.
Mm, wow. Mhm.
Yeah. And you know, it's I eat a lot of vegetables. I love vegetables. And so for me it was um like come on, you know, and I knew they wouldn't have anything like vegetables there, but fruit like even like something at the
Mhm.
beginning or cheese and crackers, you know. They do cheese and crackers the Spanish way.
Okay.
Nothing. So I mean, I think it not anyway. I'm not trying to be offensive to Spain, but you don't really do barbecues correctly. I mean, in the United States for barbecues, we have potato salad, fruit salad, egg salad. We might have different types of casseroles. Casseroles are things that you put in the oven to bake with chicken or other vegetables.
Mhm.
Desserts and everything.
Mhm. Yes. Here,
So,
maybe
mhm.
maybe not dessert. It's up to the barbecue, but yeah, meat and vegetables are very common. Yeah, with
Mhm.
meat, bake the vegetables, corn, or so. I forgot. Uh, egg, egg, egg. I forgot the English word now. Oh my gosh.
Egg
Eggplant.
salad,
Eggplant.
eggplant,
Egg- not eggplant.
aubergine, eggplant. No,
Yeah,
egg salad.
a lot. Yeah, different vegetables is on with meat. Yes, that's common. Yes,
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. No, I
but
mean,
barbecue. Sorry, barbecue itself is not. Maybe came from maybe United States probably. It's not a Japanese traditional thing.
yeah, I suppose. I mean, I don't know really. But we do have some really good meat. I mean, we have bratwursts, which are very German because, I mean, Wisconsin is how do I say this? The state that has the most German heritage. Has like
Hmm.
44% of the people who live in Wisconsin are considered that have German heritage.
Hmm. I see.
So we have a lot of German types of sausages, kielbasa. I hope Thomas is listening to this. um, lots of things like that. And like we eat corn on the cob. And, we just have a lot of different types of food. Jello, as they say in British English, is jelly. So I'm actually looking forward to eating all of these things when I go home in September. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's what everyone is doing today and watching fireworks. Oh, look, hello. Looks like we have a new guest today. Is it Telesfor? Is that your name?
Yes, it is.
Telesfor, perfect. How are you?
I'm good. I'm fine.
Good. And may I ask where you're from?
I'm from Cameroon.
Nice. Very good. Well, I'm Becky. You can't see me. You'll see me at the end. And I'm from the United States, but living in Spain. And this is Ken. Hello, Ken.
Hello,
Hi, Cam.
hello, telescope. No,
Hello.
you're on a telescope. Yeah, sorry.
Yes, it's a little bit strange,
No, it's okay. It's perfect. So, basically, today I'm just going to talk about the 4th of July. Okay, so if you want to read, you can read.
Oh,
Um,
okay, good.
so, happy 4th of July. Today is when we celebrate the independence of the USA. So, I kind of made this a
Ken
little
is
fun.
Ken is from which part of the world?
I'm in the country of Spain at the moment.
Okay.
So, in Europe. Let's see. Okay, moving down. So today we're just going to look at some interesting facts about today that you might not know. I mean, I actually learned quite a bit when I was putting this together. So it doesn't really matter who reads first. Tell us, would you like to read first?
No problem. Okay, I'm gonna start. Today we're going to look at some interesting facts about today that you might not know. First, July 2nd is the real Independence Day, but it was accepted on the 4th.
Mm-hmm. So basically, I think they had signed the Declaration of Independence and things like that on the 2nd. And then, like it says here, it was accepted on the 4th. And so I guess they've just been celebrating on the 4th. But I don't know. Paperwork is difficult because when you first, apply for something or issue something, it could be that day or the day it's accepted. So in this case, it was accepted on the 4th. Okay.
Good.
Perfect. Ken, I'll have you read this next. This one's funny. This next one, okay?
Okay. Thomas Jefferson actually wrote the Declaration of Independence on a laptop, which was a compact desk that you could fit on your lap. Is it? Really?
I knew you would like this one. So laptop is what I'm using at the moment. Okay, it's a computer, but a small computer. Basically, it was kind of like a desk. It was basically, I don't know how to explain this, like a book, but you opened it up and then it
Uh-huh.
had two different areas to write. And so they called that a laptop.
Mhm.
Because literally, when you're sitting, as probably we all are at the moment, when you if you put your hands on your legs, that's your lap.
Yes.
LAP. And so when you put something on your lap, a dog can sit on your lap or a child. And then top is just because it's the top of your lap.
I see.
You put something on top of it. So yeah, I thought this was actually pretty funny when I saw this. Not exactly what we think of a laptop nowadays. So perfect. Well, let's continue on here. All right. So let me actually just, we need to go down with this one because there's more information. So I tried to make this work. Oh, no, don't do that. Welcome to my life of being a perfectionist. And having everything on its page. Okay, great. So now we can go ahead and read this. Tell us are you ready to read? Lots of numbers in this one. Good luck.
Is it my turn to read?
Yeah.
Okay, it's the third point, I believe. So it's both ex-presidents, John Adams, second president, 90 years old, and Thomas Jefferson, third president, 86 years old, died on July 4th, 1826. James Monroe, the fifth president, 73 years old, also died on July 4th, but in the year 1831.
All right. So
Interesting
very good.
facts.
Yeah, information.
Like coincidence or a curse?
Well, I don't think it's either. So, it's just a coincidence. I mean, this is really basically what it is. So I don't know. It was just kind of interesting information, honestly. So people who died and were born, just a coincidence on this same day. Obviously, what was it? The first two, John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, on the same day within a couple hours of each other is very strange. But they were 4 years apart in age. So, and then the other one died 5 years later. So
Sure.
Good. Like I said, this is just general, information about the day. So it's kind of fun. So Ken, I'll have to go down a little bit for this one. Okay. So Ken, whenever you're ready, you can read this one.
Okay. The Declaration of Independence was only signed by two people on the 4th of July, 1776. John Hancock, former president of the Continental Congress, 13 colonies, and Charles Thomson, Irish political leader. The Declaration of Independence was then signed by 56 men from 13 colonies. 8 were from Britain.
Good. So yes, more information. So if we go back to the top of this one, so it was kind of interesting because only 2 people originally signed the document. Okay. Let's see. John Hancock was one, and he might have been the first, only because Ken, do you know of a famous saying in English about John Hancock?
No, what is it?
Oh, okay. Well, I'm almost surprised you don't know, but that's okay. Tell us, do you know of any kind of saying in English that has to do with John Hancock?
No, only no tires.
Okay. Well, basically, this is about people signing things. So they'll say, "Hey, give me your John Hancock." So it basically literally means, "Hey, give me your signature." Okay. So give me your John Hancock, or yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's it. I mean, it's really not something special, but it is kind of interesting as far as, it still, I guess, affects us today. There's other, I don't know, ways you can use his name with the same meaning, but obviously kind of a different way. But so anyway, so him, and then an Irish guy, Charles Thomson. I did find two different ways of spelling Thompson. One was with a P and the other was not. So I don't know. And so John Hancock was actually the former president of the 13 colonies. Does anyone know what the 13 colonies were?
Yeah, mainly New England, that area, and maybe Philadelphia, or you usually can north, uh, east in the United States.
Exactly. I don't think Maine was part of it, but that kind of area, yeah, where, Boston, I should say Massachusetts and Rhode Island, I think was called something a little different at that time, but yeah, those places around there. New Jersey, yeah.
Northeast.
Exactly, yes. If you look on, that's the area called New England, like Ken said. Mm-hmm.
With
So,
six states, I believe, with New Hampshire,
yep.
Massachusetts, Vermont,
Mm-hmm.
these states, yeah. Sure.
Exactly. Virginia, I think the Carolinas. So perfect. All right, so if we go down, and like it says, there were 56 men in total from the 13 colonies, and 8 of those were actually from Britain. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so perfect. This is the next part here. So tell us, why don't you go ahead and read this, okay?
Sure. Jefferson's original draft of the Declaration of Independence was lost. The one signed by everyone is the engrossed document.
All right, good. So I have this engrossed word here. Has anyone ever heard of this before?
Engrossed. Engrossed. Not really.
Okay. Ken, any idea what it could mean?
I don't know.
Well, rough, maybe.
No, this is more it's an adjective for being more, interesting, to put it very easy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Sometimes it means it's the way it was written, but in general, I think in this case, it actually could be either, but we'll just go with interesting. Okay.
Sure.
Perfect. All right. So, Ken, number 5, please.
Okay. In 1870, Congress declared the 4th of July an official holiday as part of new bill to officially recognize other holidays. Christmas was one of them too.
Okay, so in 1870 is when they first said, hey, the 4th of July is an official holiday. Now, that took almost 100 years since they signed that document, because they signed in 1776, so 6 years short of 1 year, or I'm sorry, 100 years. A little bit crazy that they waited that long. But questions or anything?
No, everything's fine for my side.
All right, good. Well, task 4 then, get ready here because you can read number 6, okay?
Sure, I'm ready. And Congress made Independence Day an official unpaid holiday for federal employees in 1870. Yeah, sure. Then in 1938, Congress changed Independence Day to a paid federal holiday.
Okay. So again, when they made the 4th of July kind of its own holiday, it was just a day that you had off. Okay. So then I'm not good at math and I'm not going to even try that. I was doing a little bit. So 70 years later almost, it says they changed the Independence Day to a paid federal holiday. So now you get paid even though you don't work. That is not my case today.
Is it common a system paid holiday?
Well, it depends.
Would be paid in America. Okay.
I'm not really sure which ones they actually. Let me see. Holidays in. Oops. It's not super common for all, like Christmas, for example. I don't think is. Let's see, New Year's Day, Memorial Day, Easter, Labor Day, and Christmas Day. But the 24th of December, no. But the 25th, yes.
I see.
And of course, Thanksgiving, which is a definite American holiday.
I see.
These are the most common ones. And, it depends probably regional as well for other ones too. Good question. Anything else? Doesn't sound like it. All right. So, Ken, was it your turn to read this or did you just read? You just read.
I read, yes.
Okay. All right. I can never remember, honestly. It's the most difficult thing. Okay, so tell us if you're ready, you can read number 7.
Okay, I will read it. The first Independence Day celebration was on July 8th, 1776, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. It was also the first day that the Declaration of Independence was read in public after people were called by ringing the Liberty Bell.
Okay, first I'd like to ask if you know what the Liberty Bell is. That's kind of important to know here.
Is it addressed to me only or to all the audience?
To everyone, well, both of you.
Yeah. I don't have such great knowledge of the U.S. history, but for what I can say is that because it was the fight for independence, for freedom, there may be a monument they built for the occasion, so that would not. Anyway, doesn't make any sense. So I just tried.
Okay, hey, that's fine. That's good. No problem. Maybe you know some information that I don't. I don't know. So, all right, Ken. Ken, do you know anything?
I just know Liberty Bell is a symbol of independence in America. I think it's in Philadelphia, right?
It is in Philadelphia. And honestly, I don't even know. It was rung at the beginning of something. But now we'll see some more information about this today. It's in Philadelphia. Yeah, it's at the Liberty Bell Center. I don't know exactly why. Anyway, so yes, but it actually has a little crack in it. It's broken. And so we do have to be very careful with that, but it is a part of our history. So let's see. Basically that's it. Okay.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ken, I'm going to have you read this and I'll just move this down. Okay. Otherwise I'll be moving everything down all day.
Okay. Several countries have used the U.S. Declaration of Independence as inspiration for their own struggles for freedom. These include France, Greece, Poland, Russia, and many countries in South America.
Yes, so I don't have any more information than this, but I thought it was pretty interesting that, countries have kind of been guided by the United States in order to maybe have their own kind of constitution, laws, rules, something like that. And so, yeah, it was kind of nice. It was kind of like a compliment, like, hey, you guys are doing a good job, or you did a good job, and we're going to follow. So that was pretty interesting. Good. All right, let's see here. This next one, tell us are you ready?
I am ready. Benjamin Franklin wanted the turkey to be the national bird, but was overruled by John Adams and Thomas Jefferson, who recommended the bald eagle be the national bird.
Oh, national bird. That should be the nation bird.
Well, yeah, I think it was a little strange. Yeah, national bird. Yeah,
that
sounds
all right.
correct. Yeah,
exactly. Sure. Yep. Even I'm not perfect. So, It happens all the time. Don't worry. All right. So good. So yes. So Benjamin Franklin wanted the national bird to be a turkey. Now, one thing you might not know about the United States is that every state has its own state bird. We have a state flower. So we all have things that represent the state, kind of individually. And I think the state bird of Wisconsin, where I'm from, is a robin. If you want to look it up, it's Robin, robin, and it has a red kind of belly thing. A red, I
The
don't know.
question is, how did they choose? What, you know, how can I come up with a bird representing my country, my not my state? I know there are different flags for the different states, but different birds. I think it's a little bit too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I don't think a turkey is a good representation of the United States in general. I like the bald eagle, and on top of it, it's the American bald eagle because there are different types of eagles. And on top of that, bald eagles, I think there's a European one that looks quite different, which I've only learned since I've been here in Spain. So it's interesting,
Oh, sure.
but it's huge. So good. Yeah. So thank you, John Adams, for winning this. So good. All right. If we go down to 9, Ken. Oh, I'm gonna have to go down again. I tried to do my best and it didn't work.
Okay. The Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem of the United States, was written by Francis Scott Key. It was a poem of the 1840 attack of the British on Baltimore's Fort McHenry during the War of 1812. Later it was put to music, but it wasn't announced the official national anthem until 1931.
Okay. So basically, all this information says that there was a war in 1812 in Baltimore on Fort McHenry. Now, a lot of these areas that they had battles and things in the United States is called fort. It represents the military, okay? And maybe where they stayed. So yes, the Star Spangled Banner was written by Francis Scott Key, and that's basically it. He said it was a poem written in 1814 about this type, about this battle here. Okay. And then in 1931 became the official anthem. So it took a long time. The United States seems pretty slow at things. It takes like 100 years to do anything. So good. Any questions or anything here?
I'm good.
Okay, perfect. All right, this one's short, but tell us if you want to read this one.
Okay. The United States of America's 30th president, Calvin Coolidge, was born on July 4th, 1872.
All right, so before we looked at 3 people who died on the 4th of July, and now we have one who was born on the 4th of July. That's it, just another fun fact. All right, and I'll have to move this one down again. Ken?
Okay. The average age of those who signed the Declaration of Independence was 45. Thomas Lynch Jr. Was the youngest at the age 27 from South Carolina. The oldest was Benjamin Franklin of Pennsylvania, who was age 70. Thomas Jefferson was 33.
So good. So a big age gap in here. I've also seen that Thomas Lynch Jr. was 26. So who really knows? So 26 or 27, but then 70 years old. So, I mean, there was a lot of people involved. I mean, 13 states in the United States. That's a big area. It's a very big area for us, even though some of the states are very small. Ken, did you want to say something?
I don't know the the Jefferson is such a young age when he signed the document.
Yep.
Oh.
So young, so young. I'm not even that age yet. That looks okay. Good. Let's move on. Whoops. Oh yeah, these are fun facts. Actually, Telsport, I'll have you read these 3. Okay.
Okay.
Perfect.
So 87.5% or 2.8 millions of US dollars, I think, of imported US flags are from China. 97% or 190.7 million of dollars of imported fireworks are from China. They think that 150 million hot dogs and 700 million pounds of chicken will be eaten on July 4th.
Okay, so we have some pretty interesting information here. Now, before everyone starts saying, oh, the US buys everything from China, let's not forget that it says of imported. Okay, that's only the imported goods. We do make obviously our own flags and fireworks in the States. Okay, so both of these are imported. But yeah, 87.5% is a lot. Yeah, tell us, for did you want to say something?
No, nothing.
Are you sure? All right, and then 90%, 97% of fireworks. That's a lot of fireworks imported from China. Very dangerous, I'd think, on airplanes. But anyway, and then as far as kind of a fun fact, people eat Ken and I were talking about barbecues earlier and how important they are in the United States. And well, this just goes to show that we eat a lot of hot dogs and chicken on this day. So, yes, that's about it. All right. Moving on. So, Ken, actually, I'm going to move. Oops. Try to move this down. Perfect. That actually worked. One moment. All right, Ken. Perfect. Why don't you read 16 now, okay?
Okay, both the Philippines and Rwanda have their own celebrations on July 4th as a day of liberation. In the Philippines, it's known as Republic Day, and Rwandans celebrate Liberation Day.
Good. Yep. So 2 completely different celebrations in 2 different countries, but on the same day. So it's not only the celebration of the United States and their liberty. So yeah, like I said, just kind of different information. Nothing that is going to be. You don't need to remember this information forever, but just kind of to get to know the United States a little bit more. Okay. All right, so this one's a little bit long. So tell us, why don't you go ahead and read this? I need to just move this down. Okay.
Okay. The melody of the national anthem was originally used by an English drinking song called To Anacreon in Heaven. The words don't have anything to do with the consumption of alcohol, but the melody that Francis Key had in mind when he wrote those words were created decades earlier as the melody for a song Praise of Wine. You have a link below. You can click on it to have more information.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so here are 2 different ones. Can I copy? I'm just going to copy these. I'm going to paste them in the chat box. Tell us first, so you know, if you click on these, you will leave the Hangout. So you must copy the links and paste them into a different one. It's happened to me even, okay? We've all had this experience. So copy and paste or right click and open in a new tab. Okay.
Sure.
So it's good. So this is, just to give you a little bit more, facts, give you more facts about this. So because, Francis Scott Key had written the words, they took this from a different song. It was a drinking song. So perfect. that's something to look at there. All right. Okay. So Ken.
Okay.
There we
In
go.
1954, the words "under God" were added to the Pledge of Alliance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay, so this is something that a lot of us said when we were younger. Nowadays, it's quite controversial. Just because people are being forced to say, I pledge allegiance to the flag. So, I mean, to pledge allegiance is basically saying, like, you're devoted to something. Okay. So, to the United States, and to the republic for which it stands, the United States, the republic, one nation and under God. So, this is where it was added in 1954. So, what, more than 20 years later, this was added. And I think that's because in general, a lot of people were Christian or Catholic or that they believed in God. And so nowadays, with the diverse amount of people that we have in the United States, this isn't necessarily the best thing to have. However, I think a lot of people would be very angry if it was taken out again. So, and then indivisible means, what does this mean?
We cannot separate. We cannot divide.
Very good. It's impossible to divide. It's divided sometimes these days with liberty and justice for all. So yeah, I would always say this every day before I started school. And that's what I have to say about that. Any comments or questions?
I'm good.
Okay, Ken?
No, thank you.
Have you ever said the Pledge of Allegiance before?
Sorry?
Have you ever said the Pledge of Allegiance before, Ken?
No, modern Japan doesn't require such things.
Oh.
Yeah. Maybe the education focus on more about, peace kind of thing, because of the past World War II's experience.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And so maybe nowadays a bit different, but when I was a kid, education focused on the peace education or to also focus on Article 9, which is, we have an army, but it's called self-defense force. So in the article, allows only the self-defense is allowed, not so attacking other countries is banned by constitution. That's things maybe we learned in school.
Interesting. I think every country, I mean, obviously every country has their own rules and things like that, and you can respect them, not respect them, and it just completely depends on your opinion and what's going on. And I mean, I think everyone knows by now that I'm not a big fan of the president in the United States at the moment. So when I said indivisible, when we were talking about this, he's kind of the issue. So anyway, moving on. There's a couple more here. Oh, yes, this is about the Liberty Bell again. So tell us more. Are you ready to read? Tell us where. Would you like to read the next part? Oh,
the connection.
Yeah, something must have happened. Well, Ken, it's your turn then.
Okay. Every 4th of July, the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia is tapped, not rang, 13 times to honor the original 13 colonies. It hasn't been rang since 1846.
Okay, so what's tapped?
Maybe tap is like a knock. Tap, tap, knock, knock.
Very good. Is it stronger than when you ring something or not?
Weaker, not.
Okay, good. Exactly. So they did this. Do you know why
I don't know why.
Well,
Because you said crack, Liberty
I
Bell. Yeah,
did.
that's why. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, if you look at a picture of the Liberty Bell in Philadelphia, you will see that it is cracked. Hi,
Mhm.
Telesfor, you're back again. Maybe? Hello? Telesfor?
I'm back. Yes, I'm
Oh,
back. I had
perfect.
some issues of connect. Sure.
Yeah, that happens too. We have a little bit of everything in class.
Sure.
So,
What did I miss
well,
in the
Ken
meantime?
just read this, and Ken described the difference between tap and to ring something. So, Ken, would you do that again for us?
Tap is like a knock, and weaker than rank. Yes. And the
So,
reason, go ahead.
sorry, go ahead.
The reason why they tap the bell because bell has some cracks, so maybe if it hit strongly, it could be separate. So we are talking about that.
Yeah, and I mean, it has one big crack, and that's basically it. I guess it was a malfunction. Can I say that? Something that didn't work when they were constructing it. Okay,
Mhm.
it was first cracked just after it got to your resting place, the place where it is now in Philadelphia, and it's made of copper and tin.
Mm.
So fantastic. Well, let me go ahead and move down here. So tell us where you can read this one. This one's pretty interesting, I thought.
Oh well, okay. The 1st of July is also celebrated in Denmark each year. It's called Rebirfesten, something like that, and
Hmm.
it's the largest and maybe even the only official celebration of the American holiday by foreigners. It started in 1911 by Danish Americans in Illinois. They had purchased they had purchased a plot of land on the Danish peninsula of Jutland, known for its beauty since the time of the Visigoths. Later, it was gifted. It was gifted?
Yep.
Sounds strange. Later, it was gifted to King Christian IX with the condition that it remains available for an annual American independence celebration.
Good. So you question this. This is basically gave. It was later, well, given. I'm sorry. Let's do the third column here. It was later, it was given. Gifted just means that it was a gift that it was given. So it's a
Yes.
little bit more formal.
Mhm.
Okay.
Sure.
So that's basically it. There are some people in the United States in the state of Illinois where Chicago is, if you can help locate it a little bit. That some well, there were Danish Americans. As we've talked about before, the United States is full of immigrants, and the majority, I'm going to say, first came from Europe when they had some bad times, the wars. Before that, I don't know. So a lot of people that went um, from Denmark, the Danish, I couldn't think of it for a second there. The Danish Americans, I mean, maybe this is second or third generations that lived in Illinois. They bought some land in Denmark so they could celebrate the 4th
Okay.
of July every year. So kind of interesting. Maybe I should go one year and see what happens. So it'd be kind of interesting. So good. Well, I think this was the last. Oh yeah, and this was just kind of another article about that. So
Oh, yes, just a reference. Okay.
yeah, I'm just gonna copy and paste that here again. All right. So again, if you want, copy and
Not
paste
all links because I left the call. Oh,
that. Well, if you want to, otherwise you can look this up in your browser, and that's fine too. Okay.
yeah, sure, but the previous one you posted there, I just cannot accept.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Sure. 1 second. Yeah, I forgot that when you leave and come back, those disappear as well. So,
I will just copy it right away because I don't want to lose it anymore.
okay. Well, good. Well, we're about finished anyway, so I'm going to stop screen sharing with you so I can tell you about our next classes that we're going to have. Monday, we are going to have a discussion between dialect and accent. I've heard a little bit of everything. People saying that the American English is the dialect or even an accent of British English. So we'll kind of discuss that. We'll look at the actual definitions and see if we can actually decide. And then on Wednesday, it's another business class. Let me think. Next Wednesday, we're going to be talking about the most important or top employee complaints, okay, for our business. So should be pretty interesting either way. Any questions or comments about class today or anything?
Yes, I have a question. Aren't you going to celebrate today?
I don't really have time to celebrate today. I mean, I'm not in the United States, so it's just a normal work day for me.
Sure.
So no, I'm not going to celebrate.
Yeah, but you don't have to be in the United States to celebrate. I mean, it's a celebration for every American, not only a celebration in the United States.
Yeah, you're kind of right. I'm not a super patriotic American, so I'm a little bit different. And I think Ken and I talked about this at the end of the last class. Basically, when you realize that Christopher Columbus went to the United States to conquer this new land and killed and did very terrible things to many, many people, it kind of takes away the whole America is the new land. So it's kind of bittersweet, I think, once you're older and you realize really what happened. So it's not, I don't know. I mean, what is freedom? What's a country? I mean, why can't I just a lot of things, a lot of people are trying to separate nowadays and become their own country or their own whatever. And I don't necessarily agree with that in general. I think that everyone should work together to create a good world, not, separate themselves. So 4th of July.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm a very anti-patriotic American here, so it's probably I'm the worst person to talk to about today.
Okay, sure.
No, perfect. Well, good. Well, thanks for coming. If you want to come, we have our Facebook account that you can take a look at. And that's it. So yeah, I hope you have a great day. Thanks for coming and happy Wednesday. It's getting closer to Friday.
Okay.
Thank
Thank you.
you very much.
All right. Well, hopefully we'll see you both on Monday. Okay.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.